What's up guys, Shawnee Dogs here, and a user on Reddit has leaked all 42 Scorestreak variants that are going to be in the game. We don't exactly know when these are going to drop, but it will be sometime in the near future, and these things look amazing. They are all either rare, legendary, or epic variants, and there will also be a Scorestreak hack in the Quartermaster. Some of these sound absolutely amazing, and it's kind of a shame that they are in supply drops. I wish they would have just put them in the game, as one of the variants for the advanced UAV basically turns it into a HATR from Black Ops 3, which is arguably the best score streak in Call of Duty, and it is an epic, so there's a very low chance of getting this, but I'm just gonna hop straight into it. There are 42 of these, so I'm gonna go through them fairly quickly, but I'm going to take you through every single score streak that they are going to add. For the most part, each of these give a positive buff to the score streak and a negative effect as well, so it's sort of a trade-off. So I will start with the UAV. The rare variant stays active for a longer period of time, but it has less health than normal. The legendary has a higher resistance against explosive weapons, but it stays active for a shorter period of time. And the epic gives you increased assist points, but it costs a higher amount. It goes from 500 to 625. Moving on to the Scarab, the rare variant, it increases the frost duration. This one does not actually have a negative effect. The legendary grants you faster movement speed, but hinders your vertical boost, so you won't be able to jump as high. And then the epic variant, it has a lower sound output, but it moves at a lower speed. Now the drone package, the rare variant, it fills a fake package with explosive contents. That's all it does, not really a buff or a nerf, just really like a trolley kill streak, and it costs the same amount. Now the legendary variant, it allows you to re-roll the contents of the package, sort of like Engineer in Black Ops 3, but it gives you a lower chance to earn higher tier score streaks. Then the epic, it only contains higher tier score streaks, but it has a higher score streak cost. This one is 1200, so it's not really even a care package at that point. It's just a toss up between random high score streaks. The rare variant for the counter UAV, it stays active for a longer period of time, but it has less health than normal. That one's very similar to the regular UAV. The legendary variant, your enemy HUDs are offline. Allies are immune to outlines, thermal, and AI targeting, but this stays active for a shorter period of time. And then the epic is really cool. It is an EMP blast. All enemy equipment and score streaks are destroyed upon entry, but it does cost a lot more. This one is 1150, so that's actually a pretty high score streak. It's just like the EMP from most of the other Call of Duties where that was actually in the game. For the Vulture, the rare variant explodes upon death, dealing damage within a small radius, but it has less health than normal. The legendary, it is able to guard an area instead of following the player, but the radar mode is offline. That one seems pretty interesting. And the epic, it roams around the map looking for targets, but moves at a slower speed. I could see how that could get pretty annoying very quickly. Now the Trinity rocket, the rare variant is only a single payload with a large chain explosion detonation, and the downside to that is it no longer grants you those two side missiles to fire before the main one. The legendary, it releases a cloud of toxic gas upon impact. This one's not really a buff or a nerf, it just adds that effect at the end. And the epic, you are able to continuously fire side missiles with a slight delay while your main missile is coming down, so that one sounds pretty cool as well. And Scorchers, the rare variant, all of your planes strike the same point, and they no longer fly in formation. They come in one at a time, just in a straight line. The legendary variant, it has a faster movement speed but a higher score streak cost, but it only goes up from 800 to 875. Now the epic variant, you can manually choose the locations for each of the planes, and they no longer fly in formation. They will come in one at a time. That one sounds pretty cool. You basically get like 3 Scorchers. They just have like a little bit decreased range. The epic variant looks pretty interesting. It locks onto all enemy locations before you fire, but it only fires off a single explosive per location. The sentry gun, the rare variant, gives you a faster seeking time of enemy targets, but it has less health than normal. That seems to be a common trend in the rare variants for most of the score streaks. The legendary, it periodically fires at air targets in view. That sounds pretty cool, but it will no longer shock nearby targets on impact. Then the epic variant, it shoots multiple tracking missiles at targets, but it has a slower rate of fire. So that one looks like it could do some serious damage. The warden rare variant has an additional flare to deter the lock-on of missiles, but it is active for a shorter period of time. Then the legendary variant, the rear turret fires bullets, but the turret has a slower rate of fire. And the epic, it calls in a sweep before the warden begins its patrol. That one, it doesn't have a buff or a nerf. I guess it just gives you sort of like an airstrike before your warden actually gets on the map. Now the advanced UAV, this is the one that I'm sure everyone is happy about. The rare variant, first off, it stays active for a longer period of time, but it has less health than normal. The legendary, it is slightly hidden through the use of reflective camo, but it is active for a shorter time. And then the epic, enemy markers are always visible and updated in real time. That's basically like the HATR or the Blackbird or the VSAT from previous Call of Duties. That's the one that everyone is going to want, everyone's going to strive for. And the downside, it has a higher streak cost. It costs $13.50 instead of $12.50, but I mean that's a lot better than the regular advanced UAV. Now the Thor, the rare variant, has a higher resistance against explosive weapons, but it is active for a shorter period of time. And then this legendary variant, this is the only one where whoever data mined this, I guess the information for this score streak was not there. So the epic variant, it releases a cluster that seeks out targets in view, and the cluster missiles can no longer track and move with the reticle. So once you fire it, that is where it is going. It no longer moves wherever you move. In the RC8, the rare variant, it has a faster movement speed, but it is active for a shorter period of time. The legendary, it replaces your main weapon with a fast firing energy machine gun. So that thing could do some serious damage. And then the epic has higher health and movement speed, but it can only shield bash, so it can't actually use the main gun anymore. That is replaced by the higher movement speed. And last but not least, we have the Apex. The rare variant grants you higher resistance against explosive weapons, and surprise, it is active for a shorter period of time. The legendary, it gives you automatically target seeking missiles, but it has a slower reload speed. And the epic, it doesn't have a buff or a nerf, it just adds that this thing now has 2 laser turrets that lock onto targets. It's called Twin Dragons, so that one sounds pretty interesting as well. And that is the end of our list. All in all, a lot of these sound very interesting. The ones that definitely interest me, probably the UAV that lasts longer but has less health. The Warden, just that epic variant that you can call in basically an airstrike before it comes into the map. That one's good as well. And of course, that advanced UAV, the epic variant, basically turns it into a HATR. That is going to be a massive game changer. Anyone who has that will become a god among men, provided you can actually earn it. I don't know how I feel about this though. I feel like all of these Scorestreak variants should just be implemented into the game. They each have their own little buffs and nerfs, and it should just be a choice of what you get to pick. Maybe the better ones have higher score streak costs, but supply drops for score streaks, I mean, doesn't make a whole lot of sense from a practical standpoint, but it does from a money standpoint. So that is all I have to say about that. I just wanted to fill you guys in on this massive update that will probably be coming in the next month. So that is going to do it for this video. I really want to know what you guys think of these score streaks. What sounds like the best one besides that HATR, of course. I know there were a few that interested me, but let me know down in the comments. I'm curious to hear all of your opinions. And if you did enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like, comment down below with any thoughts or questions you may have. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Some more great videos. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.